Austin.
Hello there. Right, these hustings are really, I guess, about what I could do to offer members of the RIBA and the profession more widely were I to become president. Let me start by saying that I'm not another continuity candidate. I don't mean that there aren't lots of good things that have happened over the last couple of years, but I just think there needs to be a fundamental rethink to what architecture is doing and where it's going. Not just because of things like AI, which ironically I think things about AI, concerns about AI is a reflection rather than a cause of our anxieties, but I think because the construction market has slumped, profits are falling, costs are skyrocketing, university sector is in crisis, and over-regulation and litigation are everywhere. So we can't shy away from the fact that the industry needs a revamp, a rethink, a bit of a shake-up. So, three things what I would do. First is openness. In some ways, I agree a little bit with Jay there. We need a deeper conversation. The ARB has been showing how not to do it. Its authority has gone to its head over the last couple of years. It seems to be launching a survey every week. As an example, in order to legitimate changing the curriculum fairly recently, the ARB cited 48 responses to a consultation. There's 42, whatever it may be, architects in the UK. It said 69% of respondents agree. That's 34 people, by the way, and that was enough to make changes to the curriculum. So we need a meaningful debate, not a sham. Democratic in that we have, honestly, to listen to what people say, not conducting fleeting little anthropological visits to the regions to patronize the locals, but engaging in debate, organizing panels, challenging opinions, and learning from frank and honest and open conversations. I don't want to leave the RIBA off the hook. Just even going back 20 years, I just noticed in the AJ a headline that said, Pringle in secret talks with minister over ARB's role. I think we need a bit less of this kind of backroom deal, secret handshake stuff, and a bit more openness. And if I become president, we'll engage up front with ordinary practitioners, open and above board. That old ministerial website, they work for us, we work for you. That's the whole point. Secondly, education. The main response to exorbitant fees has been to slash architectural courses. There's much less concern, I think, about the quality of education that's being provided. But in truth, that also has been slashed, and education itself needs a major shake-up. Standards are going down, marks have been inflated, intellectual life has been stunted. Professor Stephen Collini wrote a very profound article, I thought, in the LRB last weekend, worth having a read of. One thing I disagree with Chris Williamson about was his suggestion that failing Part 3, for example, and I teach Part 3, so maybe I would, but he just said, failing Part 3 is no big deal, just try it again and again. A kind of multiple choice culture, which is part of the problem, until by the law of averages you pass. I think being an architect is a serious business with heavy responsibilities. It's not meant to be easy. Competency is an exercise of judgment, and that's one thing that's sadly lacking in academia today. Education is very often seen as a tick box by students and staff alike, which makes it very funny that we actually criticize AI for very much the same thing. So if I become president, I will be encouraging freeing up open inquiry, more varied student briefs, more dialogue, greater emphasis on reading. Remember that? Wider experimentation, a bit more rigor in the conversation. And thirdly, the environment. Never has a critical engagement been more needed on the issue of the environment, not maybe in the way that you want me to say. Currently, we have a tunnel vision approach to architecture. If we don't do what reduces carbon emissions as a starting point, then maybe we shouldn't do it. That's what we say. We no longer have a 360-degree exploratory view of what architectural possibilities are, but a narrow focus on carbon reduction first. And as a result, you'll find that students are now told that the environment is the be-all and end-all of ethics. To consider the environment is to be ethical. And there's an element of truth to that, but ethics has got a 3,000-year history behind it. Environmentalism hasn't. There's still battles of ideas to be fought over in terms of philosophy and ideas, not ignored, not dismissed on the altar of climate. So if you want to prioritize the environment, fine, but students and practitioners are being browbeaten into compliance, and it's a compelled speech issue. By embedding climate literacy, the implication is if you don't buy into it, you are illiterate. I don't think that's fair. I don't think that mandates, often contemptuous mandates, work as a way of bringing people together. And if I become president, I intend to encourage the freedom for architects to decide for themselves what is important for them. Thank you very much.